CS2 is getting a massive overhaul to the Armory very soon, so let's talk about it. So a couple days ago, they said a reminder to contributors. You have 1 week to submit calls to Armory items in the workshop. So submissions can be accepted until Friday, March 13th. So just a few days away. It'll probably be anywhere from like a week to a couple weeks to maybe even a month. And then there's going to be like a massive overhaul of the entire Armory. So they're looking for, of course, the weapon finishes, arabesque art, and Arabian mythology, and then spy/tech. The only thing that really makes sense, at least for the arabesque art and Arabian mythology, because they removed the Anubis collection from the store, it has to be Anubis. Right? What are the odds that it's Dust 2 or Mirage? As for like spy tech, that one's kind of interesting because the only map that makes any remote amount of sense is Nuke, but then again, they might just release it as like a standalone collection. Kind of in the same vein as the graphic design collection or the sport and field. They don't necessarily have to base it on a map, but I'm just kind of curious to see like what skins they're actually going to add to the game. But speaking of brand new skins, here's a way to get some for yourself. Got a Steam inventory full of trash tier skins you never use? This video is sponsored by Skins Monkey, the fastest and easiest way to turn your junk into some fresh new play skins. Connect your Steam account, select the skins you want to trade. You can also use code TURBO to claim up to a $5 bonus. They have a massive selection of skins and plenty of options to deposit. Code TURBO gets you an extra 5%. There's also freebies where you can enter giveaways and 24/7 live support if you run into any issues. Check out my Skins Monkey link down below to support the channel. They're also adding 2 new sets of stickers, auto racing and fruits and vegetables. So those are going to be kind of weird, but maybe they'll cook. They were also looking for additional classified pink and covert red weapon finishes for both collections. So based off of this, I'm assuming that neither of these are going to end up being a case. They didn't mention knives or gloves, so a terminal could be on the table, or they're probably just going to be like typical like collection skins. Now, the real question is, are they going to be removing anything from the current Armory to make room for the new skins? I mean, obviously, you know, 2025 community capsules, we got these just a little while ago. Same with the Sugarface 2 stickers. And the only ones that have been around for a long time are, of course, the Elemental Craft stickers. And I do have to say that honestly, all of these stickers are like super good for crafting, especially like the ruby waves. Yeah, the lighting doesn't really do it like full justice, but these honestly look kind of sick. And then of course, like the flames, if you want to make like a fake blaze, like there's a lot of possibilities. Then again, also the Sugarface 2 stickers are not popular in the slightest. If we check on the Steam market, if we take a look at the Sugarface 2 collection, there really aren't a lot of stickers in existence. All the foils are decent, but the Lorena foil is definitely the most expensive just because it looks the best. But there isn't a lot of supply. But in terms of like actual quantity, 10,000 for the most common isn't very... That's not a lot. So there really aren't a lot of these stickers. And I think the main reason is they're just not really all that great, in my opinion. Even on the foils, like the artwork is kind of cool, but I don't see these really being like super craftable. I think the Lorena foil is absolutely the best, but the rest of these, in my opinion, are just overall kind of mid. Even if we compare it to the 2025 community stickers, there is a lot more volume. And if you look on the high end of things, I mean, even the Bull Hit Lentacular stickers, they're like $13. They're actually really cheap, but they've actually gone up a little bit over the last month. In terms of like actual like overall supply, if we look at the most common, there's 31,000 Fade Mangoes. So it literally triples it. Plus, there's way more stickers in this collection. If we just simply look at the numbers, like I objectively think the 2025 community stickers collection is better, and I don't think they would remove it. But then again, like, you know, I could be wrong. But then there's the wild card in the room, the Elemental Craft stickers. And these have pretty much been in the game since the inception of the Armory. And obviously the reds, the Ruby Waves, $21, $14 for the Ruby stream, both pretty expensive, and there's a pretty decent supply. And if we look at the most common, 55,000, 68,000, 64,000. So there are a lot more of these stickers than pretty much anything else. I feel like in terms of like actual stickers for crafting, like these have got to be the absolute best. I mean, the Boom Trail glitter, just throw a couple of these on like anything, boom. You want lightning bolts on your skin, you got them. You want different lightning bolts, boom. A winding scorch. I mean, they're a little expensive, but these look absolutely sick. And even on the low end of things, they also have the cheaper versions, the more common versions of the lightning too. So if you just want the normal lightning bolt, you can do that. It's a sticker crafter's wet dream. It's also the most popular. It has the most quantity. Most people are redeeming these. But the real question is, because it's been in the Armory for so long, are they going to swap these out, or are they going to keep them for just a little bit longer and remove the way less popular Sugarface 2 stickers? Valve is super data driven, and they usually go off of the numbers to decide what to remove. So the less popular stuff usually gets axed. Honestly, what do you guys think? All right, but let's actually get into the real meat and potatoes of this video. So the big thing that everybody is talking about, everybody's ranting and raving about, is because they're adding 2 new collections, as far as we know, to the Armory. Are they going to be removing one to make room for it? Or is is the Spy Tech one, is that going to be its own separate case or its own terminal down here? And they'll add the Anubis 2026 collection here and just have 4 different collections, because they have done that in the past. And the reason why this is such a big deal to like really focus on right now is just simply because of the fact that depending on if they remove like the Sport and Field collection or even the Overpass 2024 collection, like there's going to be some pretty big ramifications for anybody who has any of these skins. Same with these sticker capsules. Like there's obviously, if they do get removed immediately, there's going to be a massive spike in prices across the board. But the last time, of course, they did give us a little bit of a heads up, a little bit of a warning that they were getting removed. So that kind of made it, I guess, not as ideal for investors, because I mean, people could just stock up right at the very end. And I guess it was like an incentive for people to spend their credit balance. And I think from Valve's perspective, that does make a lot of sense. But the biggest thing is, if they are going to be adding 2 new collections, I don't necessarily know if they're going to keep 5 different collections to choose from. So they might have to remove 1. Now, obviously, Sport and Field and Overpass 2024 have been here since the very beginning, of course, with the Bee the Monster, the Dragon Snore, the Op Krakow, 3 just insane skins. I mean, aside from like the teal graph, pretty much everything that's like purple or better is honestly pretty flashy, and it does really fit the whole theme of Overpass. But then again, the Sport and Field collection has been in the game just as long, but it's a lot more popular, and I don't think Valve would remove it, but then again, maybe they will. And the biggest thing making this case super popular is the M4A1S Fade, which, believe it or not, there are almost 80,000 of these in existence, which is just actually stupid. Everybody and their dog is hopping on board the Fade train. The thing that'll maybe hold it back is just the lack of rarity. But then you're also working with like the Heat Treated, where you can get a blue gem. The Arctic Tritone, which is objectively a pretty nice looking MP9, gets clean and it's perfect for crafting. The Crimson Foil, which is just an absolute masterpiece. The Golden Spoon, which is pattern based and just looks very cool. The AXIA, which has this cool like glittery gloss design. It's also metallic and has a little bit of a case hardened vibe going on. And you can't forget about the Alpine Camo. It's a really great collection, and it's popular because the skins are actually really good. Are they really going to remove it? I don't know. As for the Fever case has been around forever. I mean, I think the smartest thing for them to do is, if they do release a new case, or if they do decide to switch it to terminals, I 100% think they're probably going to keep the Fever case in the game for a little bit longer. I mean, this is by far the most popular thing in the Armory by far, and I don't see why they would remove something that's making them so much money. But then again, it is Valve, and they can pretty much do whatever they want. I mean, overall though, I'm really curious to see like what Valve is going to do long term with this, and honestly, I'm kind of excited. Anyways, let me know what you guys think down below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe with the bell if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Join the Discord. Anyways, it's Turbo, and I'm out. Peace.